But we've got Pius Ahamba joining us to give us more updates of what the field is like over there in London. Welcome to the show, Pius.
Thank you so much for having me. Always a pleasure being here.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
I see you're donning a Super Eagles jersey, and beautiful jersey, I must say. So hopefully we'll get to win that one and you can celebrate more.
Yeah, of course. Just getting ready because any moment now we'll be heading out to join you guys right there in London. Basically, I mean, it's been an interesting tournament, I would say, generally. The game between Nigeria and Ghana was a spectacular one. I was there in the stadium live. I mean, the ambience, the banter, the beef, the jollof, rivalry, everything. And then the football was quite spectacular, I must say. In terms of football, the Ghanaians also showed that they still have it in them, that of course they still understand how to play football. They really knocked us out of the game in the second 45 minutes of that particular encounter, I must really say. But then the fact that we have scored 2 goals in the first half was exactly what saved us in that particular game, because the Ghanaians actually played us. In the second part, we were very loud as Nigerians. You know how it can be. We were very loud in the stadium in the first 45 minutes. But in the second 45 minutes, I think the Ghanaians were louder than us, because in fact, the way they actually took the game to the Super Eagles of Nigeria in the second 45 minutes was something I would want to see again and again. But going to the finals today, hopefully, I think we should be able to hold our own against Jamaica. We are a very good footballing nation. I'm particularly happy for the home-based players who actually showed and, of course, played in that game against Ghana. The likes of Sadiq Ismail, who actually contributed to the goals we scored, and, of course, Papa Daniel, who also played in midfield. I was also impressed with Sikiru Alimi, who partnered Siri Desas up front. Yes, these are, I mean, the MPFL boys actually showed themselves, and of course, yes, they actually, there's been this long conversation about we not integrating MPFL players into the Super Eagles, and I'm sure the coach will be having a rethink about that decision right now. I mean, getting 1 or 2 players into the Super Eagles means it wouldn't be a bad one after that outing against Ghana. Hope to see more of the home-based players, because Waliu didn't get to play the Korodi City's defender, didn't get to play the first game. Hopefully he gets a chance today, and of course to see more and more home-based players in the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Right. Looking at that game between Nigeria and Ghana, of course, we know that Ghana brought the game to Nigeria. They brought all the pressure. But against Jamaica, permit me to say that Jamaica are a better side compared to what we faced against Ghana. How technical do you think the Super Eagles, and how ready do you think they will be ahead of that final? Because I saw how the Jamaicans played against Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, they were complacent at some point in that game, but they were able to snatch that win 3-2 over Trinidad. But do you think that we stand a chance in the finals?
To be fair, I think we actually the favorites to win that particular final. This is just me being, apart from being in Nigeria, I'm just saying the quality of football I saw. The game between Jamaica and Trinidad, I saw the last 20 minutes of the game. I didn't start that particular game, but of course I had to rewatch that game, and I saw that the Jamaicans are actually good. The spirit in the Super Eagles camp is very, very high. I must also say that, because after the game we also went to the camp, and then the players actually talking to us. They want to win this particular tournament, because in the mind of the players, they're not looking at it as a tournament. They're actually looking at it as friendly games, because I spoke with a couple of the players in camp, and then they are all talking about in preparation for the qualifiers. So apart from the fact that they want to win this tournament, they are also trying to put themselves in order, in shape, in preparation for the qualifiers. That's if we can get anything out of remaining games, talking about the World Cup qualifiers. But then for today's final against Jamaica, like you already mentioned, it will be another test of entirely. Even though I'm not going to, sit here and say Nigeria would take it, be a stroll in the park for the Super Eagles, I think it will be a very difficult game. But with the quality of play, again, if the coach of the Super Eagles do not, because personally, I think there was no point playing 2 strikers in Alimi and Siri Desas. At some point, Alimi was playing off position. At some point, he was out of the game entirely. We were playing short one because of Alimi's. Because Siri Desas was already taking Alimi's position. Where do you expect Alimi to play? He was asking Alimi to to move straight to the wing, which is not his preferred position. He likes to be the centre man, and then you're having two centre men in that. So they were conflicting. They were conflicting themselves at some point. But I was happy when he took out Alemi, brought in Ahmed Musa, and brought in the other guys, and then we had a little bit of stability up front and of course in midfield. But then the game, it was already too late because the Ghanaians were already all over the Super Eagles, and there was nothing we could do. We just sat back and started defending to the very end of the game. It was only the first 5 minutes we had a series of attacks for the Super Eagles. Anyone who saw the game would understand what I'm saying. We had our best moments in the first half. The second 45 minutes, we were either defending corner kicks, defending set pieces, or wingers were trying to, defend the white men of the Ghanaians. So it was just what I saw in the first game. If the manager talking about Erichel doesn't make that particular mistake, which I think he would probably want to do again, because again he said it that he's trying to test a couple of formations, of course, trying to test his players. Let's see what happens today. But I mean, regardless of the results, I would know that the Super Eagles have actually given their all in this particular tournament. And then I'm particularly excited about the fact that we can have a tournament like this where the guys will be under immense pressure to win. I don't think they're under immense pressure to win. It's just a friendly game at the end of the day. But of course, winning this particular cup will be a great one. And again, like I mentioned, in preparation for our upcoming games, talking about the qualifiers. I think I'm not scared. I'm really optimistic that the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be able to win this particular one. And then the big guys are already in town. The man who plays for Tafe is also in town, talking about Uche. So we probably have a few of these big guy starts. I think Abel Musa should be starting today's game, even by what he did in that order in the first leg. It's just how the coach wants to set up. Whichever way Harry wants to set up, we'll be here for it, and then we'll be also here to cheer the Super Eagles. I also heard that Jamaicans have sold out their particular stand for the Unity Cup.
Right.
Their fans are coming in numbers. I know that the Ghanaians also bought that particular ticket also to from Nigeria. But whichever way they are coming from, we'll be here for them. Let them fill up the stadium. We'll also fill up our side, and they will go banter for banter, man for man.
Definitely. And when it comes to support Nigeria, we know how to show up and show out. So even if they buy the whole stands, we can buy the entire UK, bring all the fans and come watch football and enjoy the game.
You know how it is.
Right.
You know how it is.
Exactly. I know exactly how it is.
In the game against Ghana,
right.
The game was to start at 7:45. At 5 p.m., the banter was already heated at the game.
Exactly.
Like, different factions, and then, Nigerians, we were not... It was quite a beautiful atmosphere. Apart from the organizers of the tournament, I think they've actually, they would have successfully administered a tournament. London felt it. London felt the heat. Everyone up to today, everyone is even, those who couldn't make it for the first against that are actually looking forward to today's game. I know today's atmosphere is going to be crazy.